G'day, it's been a while since I did a video update of my layout. Really not much has changed over the past 3-4 months, I think, since I last did a video. I've been tinkering a little bit, but not too much. I've been busy with other things in life. And we're also in the process of moving in the next month or so. So the model railway will be getting stacked up once again and shifted. Fortunately, it's not across the Pacific this time. It's just up the road to a new home. But anyway, I do want to update you guys on what I've been doing, and the two main things really have been finishing off one side of the station and the platform. As you can see, it's over here. I'll show that in depth in a minute. And also I've built all the buffers for the sidings. You can see down here. They've been built and painted. So yeah, so what I want to do is just show photos of how I went about doing the station. It's taken several months. Some supplies I've had to wait to be shipped in from the UK, particularly a couple of bits that I actually got custom laser cut for the project, and will actually I got enough done for the rest of the buildings on the layout, so hopefully I shouldn't have any delays, albeit the waiting room did take approximately 25 to 30 hours to do, so it is quite time consuming, but a lot of fun. Anyway, let's get on with the video. Okay, so the first thing I did was have a quick search on Google to try and find an image to copy that best represented the buffers that I've got on the layout. Once I found the image, I basically left it up on screen and tried to copy it as best I possibly could. I chose all the different paints, all the colors that I could see. I started off with a base coat and then sprayed the rust color all the way through. Did that on both parts, and then I lightly dry brushed some white paint over the tops to highlight the rivets and everything, and then added the green color and everything. And as you can see, I'm really happy with the results. So with the platform, having never built a platform before, I just kind of copied what Luke Towan shows on his museum quality train video on his YouTube channel. What we can see now is really the end result that I've created based upon what he said. So I took some of the techniques that he used and then improvised the other techniques, but particularly the back wall, because he doesn't build a back wall. So I first started off with the base of the platform, and I've used the Pico platform front walls to create that, but the base I needed something to stick it on, so I just measured everything out of what I thought was the width of the platform that I needed, and then started to basically cut out all the supports and slowly one by one gluing them all down. This would have been far easier had a laser cutter. I could have simply just had them all cut and they would have been exactly the same. Unfortunately, they're not completely perfect, but they're close to as far as I could get. And when I glued them down, as you can see, I made sure they were all vertical as reasonably practical as I could get them. The platform you're actually seeing is the opposite side. Unfortunately, I didn't get the photos of the one that I finished off, but the same process was put in place, as you can see with the next two photos. So all the plans for the model railway was actually taken from the stations and structures of the Settle and Carlile book. I ended up taking a photocopy of the Crosby Garrett layout and basically using the scale on the page, measuring everything and trying to get all the measurements for the layout, both roughly to the edge of the board and to the back of the board, and then all the spacing for everything on it. As I'm trying to do a direct copy of the layout, that's It's been a fun process having to convert the measurements on the page from millimeters to feet and inches, and then when building the actual structures, converting it all back and getting the measurements correct. But as you can see from this image, this is what where I got up to. I basically built both sides of the platforms before starting the retaining walls. When I started the retaining walls, I put them all in. I tried to go for what I could see in the photos that I found online of the brick. Each station seems to be different depending on where you go along the line, but it seems to be quite small brick on this station, along with the larger bricks for the posts. For the back, for the top of the walls, I utilized just a straight strip of plastic that I thought best represented the bricks or the stones that sit on top, and then I went about later on, as you'll see, painting it to identify as individual bricks to get the effect that I wanted. I utilized some putty to create the top of the pillars. In fact, it's the perfect plastic putty. This was great for also filling in the cracks at the bottom of the walls and also on the platforms, because it can be sanded down to create a nice smooth layout. Using the syringe provided by the same company with the putty, which is really great putty because it's water based. You could fill it in and then use water on your finger to smooth it all out. As you can see here, this is the final completed structure before really painting. And once I did that, I basically painted the base structure, at least the base part of the platform, as per Luke Towan's video, which was the grey, and waited for that to dry. Once the paint had dried, I added the MIG asphalt acrylic paint onto the surface, which is acrylic paint with some texture to it, and I lightly spread that on, exactly what Luke Towan said in his video. Again, once it had dried, I gave it a dusting of the reddish dusting. I just followed, in this instance, what Luke says. And then cleared that all off, and then basically gave it a bit of a spray with some paint, and then peeled it all back, and then masked it off, ready to paint the walls. So the first thing I did was give the walls and the edge of the platform a primer coat, close to a brick color. I then chose several different colors identified in a photo that I found online that looked like what I wanted the station to be like. I started off at one end and did the five colors just to see how it was looking to come out with. I also dry brushed over some yellow dust to give the mortar color to it, and also I dry brushed white onto it to give the shadows that you're looking for on the bricks. And then once I was happy with that, I basically went all the way along the platform with each color at a time to create the edge of the platform. I also painted the top edge of the platform, and then weathered both the front edge and the top edge with some black dust powders as well. And on the top, I first of all painted the plain plastic that I'd put in to create the look of the slabs on top of the walls. I gave that a single. I gave it multiple coats, again checking the photos, looking to identify what kind of colors. There's greens, there's blacks, there's browns. So I painted that on patchy, and then what I did was I put tape I think it's about 8mm wide tape all the way along to create those slabs. As I said, it was just a single piece of plastic, and I needed to get the look of slabs on top of the wall. I painted straight over the top with a dark brownie color, and that way when you peel back it really looks like slab colors and everything. Once I finished that, I basically painted the rest of the brick wall, again using the same colors as the front of the wall, but this time instead of just painting individually, I sprayed it on and kind of tried to get the effect. And once I was happy with that, I again dusted some black dust onto the wall fascia to get the finished look, which I'm really happy with. For the waiting room, this was the first scratch built building I've done in 26 years. So I started off again with the same book, the structures book for the Set of Carlisle Railway, and I printed off the page for the waiting room and worked out all the sizes and measurements, going off the scale on the page and then converting it all to N scale size, and then I basically cut out the white frame of the building, and as I did that, I also cut out the brick fascias as I went along and did each bit by bit. Noticing on the waiting room, the two ends stick out a little more. I basically cut a separate piece of plastic to make that step out, to give the sense of the depth required. I also added the bricks along the base of the wall, and then filled in above that with some of the putty to give the mortar, the angled mortar. Although it's so small, you probably don't really notice it. You can see in the photos the white putty on top of the one layer of bricks that I've stuck on. I also cut out little bits of plastic for the bricks on the corners of the building, and also the lintel and the bottom of the window are just basically small bits of plastic cut out. And then I had to use a file to file the shape, the rounded shape at the top of the windows and the square shape at the square ledge at the bottom. I initially painted the insides of all the walls black, because it's my intention to have a light inside to show activity, I guess. And then the exterior walls were all painted just a primer base coat, that if I missed when I'm painting the surface, it still comes through as a brick colour. I then glued it all together, and made sure I was happy with the way it was all looking. I then just added the base roofing structure, and as you can see with my finger, the size of the building, it's pretty small. I looked all over the internet for the slate tiles on the roof look, and I came across York models which do a stick-on individual tile, although it's not individual, it's a strip, and I really like the look that has given the building. I then painted the exterior, painted all the bricks and everything, getting the right colour, and added the downpipe and guttering. Now the guttering is just a round 1mm bit of plastic, painted red, and then I toned down one side with a bit of black, to give the effect that it is only a half round rather than a fully round rod, because it's so fine and detailed. I also added the lead to the edge of the building, which is again just a simple strip of plastic, which is thin enough just to bend nicely over the top. I was then able to order again from York models the barge boards to go on the end, which were I chose the ones closest to the real life version that I was trying to copy, and also I needed ridge capping to go on the building, and unfortunately couldn't really find it, and I wanted as best detail as possible, and Julie, who's there, was good enough to design the ridge capping based on the photo that I provided, and it's made out of the same material as the roof tiles. So I was able to glue that in place and then glue the row just below the ridge capping to blend it into the building. And then the roof was basically painted, weathered with dust, different dust and everything to give the finish effect. Considering I haven't done it in building to this degree ever, I'm really happy with the result. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed putting it together. As you can see in the background, I'm in the process of packing, ready to move. So it's going to be a little while again, probably for the next video. But if you've got any comments, please feel free to put them down in the bottom. If you've got any requests, feel free to reach out and let me know what else you would like to see and know. If you would like to continue to see the progress of the model, be sure to subscribe to my channel and like the video. I'll see you next time.